Alright guys, so today we're going to be checking out the brand new Pamu Z1 hybrid active noise cancelling earbuds. Now Pamu is definitely one of those companies, whenever they come out with a new product, I'm always interested in checking it out, mainly because they're offering something a little bit different. It's always in the design, whether it be the case or the earbuds, and with the Z1s, it's really no different. There's a little spin on the case itself, which we're going to talk about, but the main thing I want to start with here is the price. Because most hybrid active noise canceling earbuds, if they're going to be decent at canceling out any noise at all, you're usually going to pay a pretty good bit for. And so with this pair having active noise canceling, it does come in retailing at 99 bucks, but right now you can actually get them for $69 with a code that they sent. But they also have a code still on their site that's like an early bird pre-order type code that you can use, and you can get the total all the way down to 62 bucks. And another thing that I felt was interesting is they also offer a light version, which doesn't have the hybrid active noise canceling, and it doesn't have the Qi wireless charging that the regular model does, and you can pick those up for only $49, and with all those codes and all that, you can pick them up for $44. So if you are looking at checking these out, they are available in 4 different colors. You have a black and yellow model, a white and silver, a gray and white, and then one that is a teal and blue and white. So there's definitely different colors to choose from, but one thing that makes these interesting is the little belt that goes around the case is actually replaceable or interchangeable. So if you want a different color, they just kind of snap on and snap off. And it also has this little clear looking tab on the side of it. That is your notification light on this case. Now I haven't seen anything like this. So this is just a different spin and trying to keep it interesting instead of just the single little notification light. Now another thing that I really liked about these, but this is also confusing, is it does work with the Pamu Quiet app. I did notice that the link that it gives you inside the package and the place that it tells you to download the app is telling you to download the Pamu app, which it doesn't work for. You couldn't find your headphones in there, it couldn't locate them, but when I downloaded the Pamu Quiet app, it was able to locate them, it was able to give me all of the features like the pre-built EQ options, it allowed me to switch these into gaming mode to cut down latency, it also allowed me to change the controls on these if I wanted to, and then I could also see the battery status of the earbuds themselves. So I definitely feel like the app comes in handy, but make sure that you're downloading the right app by downloading the Pamu Quiet app. Now let's go ahead and talk about the active noise canceling that these have, because I think if you're looking at these, that's going to be one of the main selling points, and I was actually quite surprised at how good the noise canceling is. Now I definitely do not put it up against the Bose or the Sonys, I don't think it's to that level, but in a budget pair, especially a pair that you can pick up for 62 or 69 bucks, it's one of the better ones out there. So if you're just looking for a pair to cancel out the engine noises on a plane or in traffic and things like that, it's very good at that, but it's not that great at blocking out voices. So if you're wanting to use these at home where it's noisy with people talking, or if you want to use these at work where a lot of people may be talking, it's not going to block out as much as some of the bigger name brands, but for everything else, I think it does a really good job. I would say it probably is blocking out 70% of the noise around you, where I would put the Sony or Bose blocking out around 90%. Now, as far as the technology that's in here, it is using Bluetooth 5.2. It does have AAC and SBC playback, so it doesn't have aptX, but I didn't notice any kind of compression with my audio. Now, like I said earlier, there is a gaming mode for low latency. You would switch it over into that mode if you want to cut down on any kind of lag with movies, videos, and gaming, and it really did cut down everything. But I did also notice when I switched it into gaming mode, it did kind of boost the low end on these a little bit, so it made them a little bit more boomier. But do also keep in mind, if you switch it into gaming mode, it is going to cut down your battery life, and it's also going to cut down on how far you can get away from the device that you're connected to. Now, as far as using these outdoors, they do come in rated at IPX4, which with most active noise canceling earbuds, this seems to be about the norm. So this is easily one of those pairs you'll be fine at the gym if you sweat heavily, or you'll be fine outside if it starts to rain a little bit. But this is still not one of those pairs that you would want to submerge into water. Now, when it comes to everything that they've included inside the box, You do get 4 sets of silicone ear tips. They do include a little leather carrying pouch, I guess just to kind of throw everything into and keep your actual case from getting scratched. And as far as the charging cable, it does come with a USB-C cable. But like I said at the beginning of the video, this case is a Qi wireless charging case, so you don't actually have to keep up with that charging cable. You can just come in, drop this on any wireless charger, and it will start charging. Now, speaking of the charging, the battery life on these is actually really decent, especially considering that these are noise canceling earbuds, because on the earbuds themselves, you're going to get around 6.5 hours, or with the charging case, you're gonna get around 24 hours total. And I did notice that there's no specific fast charge numbers on these, so this isn't one of those pairs that you can throw in the case for 10 minutes and get an hour to 2 hours worth of use. You have to throw them in to fully charge, which I believe says it takes somewhere between an hour to an hour and a half. Now, moving over to looking at the case itself, like I said, it does have that little belt that wraps around here. Now, I have the all black model, which also has my belt as being black, but if I wanted to, I could have it yellow, I could have it white, I can have it in the different color options that they have. And I really think the thing that makes these stand out the most, other than being able to switch out the belt, is that little notification tab on the side. Again, I haven't seen anything like that, and it really just makes these a little more unique. Now, moving over to the earbuds, these also have a different look to them as well. It looks like they have a stem, but it's really, really short. It's not even the length of the AirPods Pros. Now, you can see on the kind of somewhat inside part of the earbud, there is a yellow accent color. Now, this is going to be different depending on which color model that you choose. And these also use touch controls, and I'm happy, but not all the way happy to tell you that they control everything, because you do have to go into the app to allow it to control volume, but you have to sacrifice being able to switch these between active noise canceling mode and your ambient mode. So you do have to kind of sacrifice some things, and I don't like to do that because I've seen many other earbuds be able to give you control over everything, even if they do have the ability to switch between different modes. You just have to find ways to make them work. And as far as the microphones on here for phone calls, I felt like it picked up my voice really nice and clean, and they are using environmental noise canceling to block out a lot of the sounds around you, and I think they did a really good job at that as well. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
Alright guys, so here is a quick mic test using the Pamu Z1s. Again, I think it does a really good job picking up my voice, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. So now here is a mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to use these in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because the drivers that these are using are 10mm dynamic composite drivers. And actually, out of the box, I felt like these were very boomy and bass heavy. But once you go into the app, you can see that the default mode that they're in is set to pop, which is made to elevate the bass and push up your treble quite a bit. So it does have more of a dynamic sound, which I think for most consumers and most people in general, they're going to be completely happy with. But I did find that I like to switch it into the balanced or neutral mode. And all that does is just kind of tame things down a little bit. It definitely does not make this sound flat or reference style at all. But like I said, out of the box, the bass is in your face. It's definitely punchy. It even has that subwoofer type feel. It's not one of those that's trying to clean everything up. But the decision that they made to also boost the treble quite a bit is what keeps these not sounding unbalanced. And what I mean by that is a lot of earbuds, if they boost the bass and they don't boost the treble along with it, it just sounds way too warm and muddy and congested, and it just doesn't work across a lot of different genres. And luckily this pair doesn't do that. You can tell that they just tried to boost everything. Now they did leave the mids sitting where it's at. They didn't try to push it too forward, but they also didn't allow it to just fall in the back of the mix either. So mids are just right where they need to be. They're not over accentuated, but it sounds more natural. But again, the bass and the treble are definitely the standout frequencies when it comes to this earbud. Now, when it comes to the Soundstage and the sound imaging, it kind of depends on which mode you have it in, because if you have the ANC on, it does tend to make these sound a little bit warmer and a little bit more boomy, which tends to close in the sound a little bit more. But if you don't have the ANC on, The sound is much more open. I would say if the ANC's on, I would put it sounding like you're in a medium-sized room, but with the ANC off, it really does make you feel like you're in a larger room. But in either mode, being able to tell where different sounds are coming from, this pair is able to handle with no problem. Now, as far as some of my cons with these, it's going to be confusing for a lot of people to find the right app to use, but you just have to look up Pamu and see that Pamu Quiet app to make sure that you're getting the right one. Now, this is on an iOS device, so it could be different for Android. And then as far as any other cons, I really wish that there was a fast charge feature on the earbuds where, you know, a quick 10-15-minute charge gets you an hour to 2 hours. A lot of people just kind of get used to this feature. And I don't like that you have to sacrifice the active noise canceling mode to be able to get volume control on the earbuds themselves. Again, I'm just not a fan of not having the ability to control everything right there on the earbuds. But outside of those few cons, I think this really is a hell of a value on a pair that has active noise canceling. It has Qi wireless charging. It has really good battery life for a pair that has noise canceling. The sound is going to please most people, especially most consumers that are used to listening where things are boosted in different areas. And it is nice that you have the ability to tame that down by switching into some of those pre-built EQ options. Now, I still would have liked to have seen the ability to switch some of the EQ options myself, but on a pair that you can get for $60-something, especially compared to a lot of other ones in the market, it still makes this pair an excellent value. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Pamu Z1s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.